I withdrew from the automobile industry and was lucky enough to get involved in full-time design education, transportation design, which gave me room to think about the bigger picture of transportation. Then later on I met with Dave. We were both working at Art Center. We got involved with setting up a series of sustainable mobility summits at Art Center along with Hydra and Mumperdrum. The three of us decided we needed to bring a lot of people together to talk about these issues of sustainable mobility. And in that process, which was a lot of fun and extremely interesting, we got to meet some extraordinary people, both in transportation and experts in sustainability and within the government as well. As a result of that, Dave and I were invited to go and testify before Congress in December of 2008 at a House Select Committee on global energy independence and global warming. And the conversation was about whether or not to bail Detroit out, which was a hot topic at the time. And our testimony essentially was that before you could decide what to do with the car industry, you really needed to have a long-term vision of what the whole transportation landscape was going to be in the US to decide whether the car industry had any major relevant part to play in that. That's the testimony we delivered, but it was very clear to us that actually the conversations going on around at the time were more about whether cars should do 35 miles a gallon instead of 27.5 miles a gallon. So we were a little bit dismayed at that, but we decided we needed to do something about this. And we decided we need to add some more far-reaching conversation into this whole topic. We decided essentially to take our testimony and develop a white paper, and as we did that, we realized that it was actually a huge task, and rather than just talk about it, we decided we'd take the bull by the horns and set up ongoing transportation to work on what we call the Futurama 2.0 project. Well, we've identified a large number of players who need to take part in that, because the future of transportation, if we're going to implement truly innovative, sustainable means of transportation for both people and goods that are compelling and viable, means people want to really use them, that industry and business is convinced that they can make good profit out of this, that it fits in with government's long-term objectives. We have to bring all of the stakeholders in the future of transportation to the table. So it's not just people who design cars and buses and trains. It's not just civil engineers who design the infrastructure and build the infrastructure. We have to understand what the urban planners are thinking, how transportation integrates into the urban landscape. We need to know that the economics of all of this are going to work. We need to know a lot about the psychology of how people think at various levels. We need to have people that represent all the different areas of transportation and distribution of goods and people. So it's pretty much everybody. And again, from a design perspective, this is, if you like, a giant version of what we're used to doing in our day-to-day work. Well, I think first of all it's essential that they do work together. That's an imperative. Big picture is that government needs to be able to set the right policy and make policy clear that helps people who are planning for the future of transportation to know what the rules of the game are. At the same time, industry needs to know, business and industry and the providers of the transportation systems and services need to understand that there is a viable economy built around this. So there has to be a dialogue. And that's one thing that we want to do. We want to try and facilitate that dialogue. If we're going to build a viable, compelling vision which the United States can get behind and support, it had better be a right vision. So as we go through this process, we will have to make sure that there is plenty of validation and research and modeling of these ideas and solutions to make sure that everybody has confidence that it's the right thing to do. And we realized, as we thought about how this was going to unfold, that we would be able to collect a lot of data, examine a lot of different models, and which would require a large team of people who become, if you like, experts on the mathematics and the viability of all of this. And a number of people who have given us advice and support on this journey so far have pointed out that compared to, say, the building industry, there isn't really any LEED certification equivalent for transportation as there is in the building industry. So this is something that we're really interested in exploring to see whether that will go hand in hand with building up the Futurama 2.0 vision.